So my topic is your brand is bullshit. And my whole idea with this is that I think we could do better. I'm from Norwalk, Ohio. I grew up, I was a overweight kid, made fun of, teased. My dad was in jail. I had circumstances that made us very difficult. My mother sold our house to her boss so we can rent it at a price we could afford. This was my mascot. Talk about the cards stacked against you. I had to learn how to play the trumpet so I can join the marching band. And if things didn't get worse, I learned how to play the tuba. And one day, I went to an Ohio State game on a whim because no one in my family went to college. I came back home that night and said, Mom, Dad, I'm going to Ohio State. I'm going to dot the I. And they said, okay. And the moment I started painting yard lines 5 yards by 5 yards by 5 yards in my backyard, like, oh, maybe he might be serious. Then I made the Ohio State marching band, and then 4 years later, I dotted the I at the national championship game in 2002. But the best part of the story is not even that. The best part of the story is that trumpet broke the cycle of generational poverty in my entire family. This is my daughter, Savannah, and she gets to go to college no matter what because of a trumpet. How cool is that? Think about the fact that you can change your life with one simple action. But the problem with this whole thing was I went to college and I figured out if I just watch people and I mimic people, if I do what they do, I say what they say, then I get lost. I made a lot of bad decisions. I started doing the right things. I started following everybody else's lead. I got married. I did all these things. I got the degree. And then I looked at myself. I'm lost. I'm not being authentic. I'm not doing the things that I wanted to do for myself. And then I was a bad husband. I was a bad father. I was a bad everything. I was a bad colleague, aloof, you name it. I did all the things wrong. And I had to admit that for myself, so I got rid of all of that because that wasn't who I was. I was living a brand that wasn't me. Even though it sounds sexy to put it out there on Facebook, it was the right thing to do. And then you felt like, oh, if I just put it out there, I'm hustling, I'm trying so hard. Look at me, look how good I am, look at this job, this is so awesome. Let me tell you this. If you have so much time that you're tweeting and Facebooking about how hard you are hustling or grinding, then you are not working hard enough. Your brand is bullshit, and I'm not going to buy it. I look at brands for a living. I love it. I love Heinz. Look, Heinz, the secret sauce. What do they make? Ketchup. Better than anybody else. 60% of the market's owned by Heinz. They make ketchup. Hell, they're from Brazil at this point, and they make ketchup. And they do it so well that we know when we say Heinz, they make mayonnaise and baked beans and spotted dick. They make it all. But we think about ketchup. And then you have Campbell's that makes what kind of soup? How good is it? No, it's good. It's not great. The label hasn't changed in 100 years. It is what it is because they're that good, and you crave that tomato soup. You don't want Wolfgang Puck stuff. You got Campbell's tomato soup, and one day they said, you know what, we're going to try to make some ketchup. Because we can, because we have all tomatoes right here. So they make the ketchup. People try it. They don't know what it is. It's great. They know what it is. They say, it's soupy, it's runny, it's orange. We don't want it. So you never have had Campbell's ketchup in your life, have you? I don't think you have. And then the next one, you have Colgate. Colgate just got greedy. Colgate got greedy. They said, you know what? People put us in their mouths. We could own it all. And so when frozen TV dinners became the thing, when the microwave was invented, they said we could have it all. So this is what they did, and they never admit it to this day. And Domino's teaches us one thing, that at some point you just have to admit that you suck. You just have to admit it, that you're not that good. The Oh Yes We Did campaign was their CEO of Domino's that said, look at our pizza, look how terrible it is. And you said, yeah, it's pretty bad. And now they're like the 5th largest e-commerce company in the world. It's amazing. You know, if you have to be honest with yourself, that's the only time you can truly be yourself. How many Facebook posts, how many social media tweets do we actually put out there to tell people what the life that we think we're living, but really we're just crying on the inside. We're not doing the job that we tell people that we're trying to do. And to take it even further, I love pizza. Little Caesars doesn't do online ordering. They don't do delivery. How the hell are they going to compete? Oh, that's right. Who are we? Let's double down. We're cheap. You know, they doubled down on who they were. They do one thing better than anybody else, cheap-ass pizza. So they take it down from $7 to $5. It's a pizza that you give your kids while you sneak away the really good stuff at night. You got to own who you are. And you know that, right? I mean, it's not the fact that you're cheap or whatever it is that you are. It's just identifying and taking that and owning who you are. And that's the thing that makes people powerful, is when they discover. You've heard it from all of our speakers tonight. It's those things. And you can really whittle this down to the world's famous brand. Whether you celebrate Christmas or not, you get Santa Claus. And there's really three types. Three types of Santa Claus that change everything. And the first one of these types of Santa is what I call the full Santa. And the full Santa is the guy that he looks like this. Not him. It's the other guy. The other guy is the guy that you will have your kid run up to, and you trust that if you sit in his lap, you'll be fine. But this guy here, he's the one you see in the mall. Sure, you'll pay $10 for it. But you don't want to last any longer. The other guy, if he's on vacation, you still trust your kids with him. And finally, there's the accidental Santa. The accidental Santa is the guy that just does it because he can. He's got the suit, he's got the belt, he's got the fake beard, and you think, you know, what the hell? He's going to come up to work anyway. Why not let him? But you'll never, ever trust this person. But let me ask you this. How many accidental Santas are you surrounded by every day? How many accidental leaders are you surrounded by every day? And finally, let me use my favorite brand, Arm & Hammer. Who competes with them? Does anyone here own anything other than Arm & Hammer? I don't think so. They're that good. And when you get that good, because you're that pure, you're that consistent, and what Arm & Hammer teaches us is that reliability is key. Your brand is a product of your actions. It's not what you say you're going to do, all the stuff about how hard you're working or hustling. It's what you do every day. It's what you do when you hustle. It's what you do when you work hard. It's when you have integrity and you say and do and you live what your values are going to be. And no one knows any different from you. Imagine if we as a city, instead of trying to be cake decorators, we actually bake the cakes. Isn't that the place we want to live? Thank you very much.